Some luxury cars whisper wealth. These cars shout it. This video isn't about speed. It isn't about lap times. And it isn't about performance figures. It's about the moment luxury crosses a line. When refinement gives way to spectacle. When design stops expressing confidence and starts demanding attention. Today, we're ranking the most over-designed Mansory cars ever built, from the loudest expressions of excess to the point where extremity almost makes sense. These cars were never meant to blend in. They were built to be judged. Let's begin. 10. Mansory Lamborghini Urus Venatus early specification. We start at number 10. In stock form, the Lamborghini Urus already lives on the edge of excess. It's sharp, aggressive, and intentionally dramatic. But beneath that aggression, Lamborghini still maintains discipline. The proportions are tight. The lines are controlled. The visual tension feels intentional. The early Mansory Venatus conversion pushes past that discipline almost immediately. The widebody treatment exaggerates every existing angle. Fender extensions stretch outward aggressively. Carbon fiber elements layer across the hood, roof, mirrors, side skirts, and rear fascia. Vents multiply, not because the car demands them, but because the design allows them. From a distance, the Venatus feels loud. Up close, it feels restless. Nothing settles the eye. Every surface competes for attention. There's no single dominant idea guiding the design. To some buyers, this is the entire appeal. The Venatus isn't built to signal quiet wealth. It's built to dominate attention instantly. Parking lots, hotel entrances, social media feeds. It's a car designed to be noticed before it's understood. Critics, however, see something else. They see a design language that overwhelms the original identity. A vehicle that stops communicating confidence and starts communicating volume. The Urus didn't need help being aggressive. It needed restraint. This build prioritizes impact over longevity. It's designed for immediate reaction, not lasting admiration. That's why the Mansory Urus Venatus earns the number 10 position. It represents the precise point where customization stops enhancing character and begins overpowering it. 9. Mansory Bentley Bentayga W12 widebody. At number 9, execution improves slightly, but tension remains. The Bentley Bentayga is built on a very different philosophy. Its power is quiet. Its authority comes from composure, not aggression. The stock Bentayga doesn't shout, it reassures. Mansory's widebody conversion changes the tone completely. The stance becomes wider and more confrontational. Carbon fiber replaces painted restraint. Glossy surfaces give way to sharp contrasts and exposed weave. Some elements work better than expected. The wheels feel planted and deliberate. The ride height adds presence without looking forced. There is real craftsmanship in the details. But other decisions clash directly with Bentley's identity. Large vents feel theatrical rather than functional. Layered aerodynamic elements introduce a performance narrative the Bentayga was never meant to tell. The vehicle begins to feel conflicted, part luxury flagship, part visual provocation. Emotionally, this build divides opinion sharply. Supporters admire the boldness, a Bentley that refuses to be subtle. A luxury SUV that openly rejects understatement. Detractors see a loss of dignity. A vehicle trading timeless elegance for short-term spectacle. The issue isn't quality, it's alignment. This Bentayga earns number 9 because it demonstrates technical competence. Without philosophical clarity, over-design not by accident. but by intention that conflicts with the soul of the car. 8. A Mansory Rolls-Royce Cullinan, first generation kit. At number 8, intention becomes clearer, but restraint still fails. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan is designed to project calm dominance. Its presence doesn't rely on aggression. Flat surfaces, upright proportions, and controlled mass do the work silently. Mansory's first-generation Cullinan kit disrupts that language. Widebody extensions introduce sharpness where smoothness once defined the form. Carbon fiber replaces painted chrome with visual contrast. Oversized wheels pull attention downward, altering the vehicle's natural balance. There is no denying the craftsmanship involved. Materials are premium, fit and finish remain exceptional. Every component feels expensive and deliberate, but excess here feels imposed rather than integrated. The Cullinan doesn't resist aggression, but it doesn't benefit from it either. Instead of amplifying authority, the design fragments it. The vehicle becomes visually heavier, but emotionally lighter. Some viewers admire the confidence of the statement. Others feel it misunderstands where Rolls-Royce power truly comes from. This build isn't confused, it's decisive. But it answers the wrong question. The Cullinan earns number 8 because it represents overdesign executed flawlessly on a platform that never needed it. 7. Mansory Ferrari 812 Stallone. Number 7 marks a turning point. The Ferrari 812 Superfast is already theatrical by nature, long rear bias proportions. A naturally aspirated V12 demanding attention on its own terms. Mansory's Stallone treatment doesn't fight this drama. It leans into it. Carbon fiber components follow the car's natural lines. Aerodynamic additions feel directional rather than decorative. For the first time in this ranking, the customization appears to listen to the base vehicle. The design language becomes more cohesive. There is intent behind the aggression. However, restraint still remains elusive. Certain surfaces are overstated. Some visual accents push beyond necessity. The car feels powerful, but also slightly burdened by its own presence. Emotionally, this build earns respect. Even critics acknowledge that the execution makes sense. The car doesn't feel lost. It feels exaggerated. That distinction matters. The 812 Stallone earns number 7 because it represents excess with direction. It shows confidence. It shows understanding. But it hasn't yet learned when enough is enough. 6. Mansory Mercedes-AMG G63 multi-layer carbon specification. At number 6, confidence finally replaces chaos. The Mercedes-AMG G63 is uniquely suited for excess. Its boxy geometry doesn't rely on elegance. It thrives on intimidation and presence. Mansory understands this platform instinctively. Carbon fiber elements feel purposeful rather than ornamental. Widebody components enhance stance instead of cluttering it. The upright frame absorbs exaggeration without collapsing under visual weight. For the first time, overdesign feels appropriate. This build speaks directly to buyer psychology. Not insecurity, not validation, authority. The G63 doesn't pretend to be subtle, and Mansory doesn't pretend to make it so. There is still excess, undeniable excess, but it's controlled, directed, contained within the vehicle's natural character. This build appeals to a more refined Mansory audience. Buyers who want presence without chaos, attention without apology. The Mansory G63 earns number 6 because it represents the true midpoint of this ranking. The moment where excess stops fighting the car and starts working with it. 5. Mansory Porsche 111 Turbo S. At number 5, perception begins to shift. The Porsche 911 Turbo S is one of the most disciplined performance designs in modern automotive history. Its shape is evolutionary, not emotional. Every line exists because it works. That makes it one of the most dangerous platforms to modify. Mansory approaches the 911 with an unusual level of restraint. Carbon fiber components follow factory geometry rather than rewriting it. The hood treatment respects the original curvature. Side skirts and rear elements enhance stance without distorting proportion. This build doesn't try to overpower the 911's identity. It sharpens it. Aerodynamic additions feel purposeful instead of theatrical. The car remains compact, planted, and focused. Nothing feels added simply to be seen. This is where critics begin to soften, not because the car isn't excessive, it is, but because the excess feels justified. The Turbo S retains its core personality. Mansory simply amplifies its intensity. That distinction matters. This build earns number 5 because it marks the moment where overdesign stops being disruptive and starts becoming complementary. Excess finally works with the car, not against it. 4. Mansory Aston Martin DBX. Number 4 represents genuine execution. The Aston Martin DBX is an emotional vehicle by SUV standards. It balances performance with elegance, aggression with grace. That balance is fragile. Mansory's treatment respects it. Carbon fiber elements are sculptural rather than confrontational. Widebody components enhance stance without overwhelming the original lines. The vehicle feels athletic, not armored. Craftsmanship is immediately apparent. Nothing looks rushed. Nothing feels random. Every modification appears considered. This DBX doesn't chase shock value. It commands attention through confidence. There is still excess. No Mansory build escapes that. But it's refined excess, controlled excess. The car feels expensive rather than loud, assertive rather than desperate. It narrowly misses the top 3 because others go further. Without losing emotional control, the DBX earns number 4 because it demonstrates how overdesign can still feel tasteful when restraint is treated as a tool rather than a weakness. 3. Mansory Ferrari SF90. At number 3, excess becomes expression. The Ferrari SF90 is already radical. Hybrid power, sharp, futuristic surfaces. A design language built for the next decade. Mansory understands that this car doesn't need taming, it needs amplification. Carbon fiber additions feel integrated into the SF90's futuristic identity. Aerodynamic components follow the car's aggressive logic. Nothing feels out of place. This is one of the rare builds where Mansory's visual language and the manufacturer's design philosophy align naturally. The result is cohesive. The car feels intentional, confident, unapologetic. Even skeptics acknowledge the execution here. The criticism shifts from why to how far. That shift is critical. This build doesn't dilute Ferrari's identity. It reframes it through excess. The SF90 earns number 3 because it proves that overdesign, when aligned with the right platform, can become a form of expression rather than distortion. To a Mansory Bugatti Chiron, number 2 comes dangerously close to perfection. The Bugatti Chiron exists on a different plane entirely. Its proportions are monumental. Its performance borders on surreal. Its design can absorb excess like few cars on Earth. Mansory approaches the Chiron with confidence, not caution. Carbon fiber treatments emphasize scale rather than clutter. Design elements feel architectural. The car grows more imposing without losing coherence. This is excess done with discipline. Customization feels evolutionary rather than indulgent. Each modification builds on the Chiron's existing presence, instead of competing with it. There is power here, but also respect. Mansory doesn't attempt to dominate the Chiron. It collaborates with it. So why isn't this number one? Because perfection at this level demands restraint, even here. One or two elements push slightly beyond necessity. Not enough to ruin the car. Just enough to remind us that control matters most at the top. The Chiron earns number 2 because it demonstrates how close over-design can come to flawless execution without fully crossing into it. 1. Mansory Rolls-Royce Phantom. At number 1, everything finally comes together. The Rolls-Royce Phantom is not afraid of excess. It defines it. Its presence isn't aggressive. It's absolute, massive surfaces. Uninterrupted lines, authority without effort. Mansory understands this platform completely. Every modification feels earned. Carbon fiber is used sparingly, but confidently. Interior customization elevates opulence rather than distracting from it. Exterior enhancements respect proportion and symmetry. Nothing competes for attention. Everything contributes to dominance. This is over-design that doesn't feel chaotic. It feels inevitable. The Phantom absorbs customization effortlessly. Instead of becoming louder, it becomes heavier, visually and emotionally. This build doesn't chase reactions. It defines the room it enters. It is unapologetically extravagant and completely in control. That's why it sits at number 1. Not because it's subtle, but because it understands excess better than any other build on this list. The Mansory Phantom sets the benchmark for extreme luxury customization done with authority. Looking back at this ranking, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Extreme luxury customization isn't about right or wrong. It's about intention. Some builds chase attention, others define it. Every vehicle touched by Mansory reflects more than design choices. They reflect ego, taste, confidence, and philosophy. Over-design, in this world, isn't a mistake. It's a statement. 1. Mansory Rolls-Royce Phantom. At number 1, everything finally comes together. The Rolls-Royce Phantom is not afraid of excess. It defines it. Its presence isn't aggressive. It's absolute, massive surfaces. Uninterrupted lines, authority without effort. Mansory understands this platform completely. Every modification feels earned. Carbon fiber is used sparingly, but confidently. Interior customization elevates opulence rather than distracting from it.